What up, though? Good people. Y'all, we finally got some good weather today. I tried to record this video outside, but I kept getting into a fight with the wind and I was losing, so I had to come back in. But still got the windows and the doors open, so trying to get some fresh air because, honey, it has been a long winter. And especially being in Michigan, like the bipolarism of this weather is very disrespectful, like very disrespectful. So whenever we get like a little inkling of good weather, I think it's like 68 right now. Baby, that's summertime. That's summertime for us. Like, we're taking full advantage of it. If you know, you know. I'm from the west side, so Rouge Park is probably popping right now. People probably got their grills out, got their speakers booming. Like, if you know, you know. I'm not about to be anywhere near it, but definitely some good weather. So just came in from walking the dog here. Of course, you know, you get to walking around and clearing your mind and thinking, you know, stuff comes up, things come to mind. So it just kind of put me in a position. I just kind of got to start to, you know, just reflecting on, you know, where I'm at with my whole healing journey, and, you know, just kind of how far I've come already, and just reflecting on just how good I feel, and like I'm feeling very at peace. I will say I'm feeling very at peace, and you know, free to an extent. I mean, as free as I can be, you know, with 3 littles. But I mean, just feeling overall just really good. But it kind of just got me to thinking about like how I got to this point, like what led me to have to make the decision that I made to leave that situation and start to choose me. So I kind of just started going over, you know, just things in my head, like thinking of like the warning signs that either I didn't recognize at the time or that I just completely ignored. Just was like, you know, this isn't what it is, and just kind of making excuses and all of that good stuff. So I'm just gonna list off just kind of like the top 5 that came to mind that were like really prominent in my decision, and just kind of put it out there for people. Like, if you recognize that, you know, hey, I'm going through 1, 2, or all of these things, then you know, it may be time to make a change. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, if you're experiencing one of these things, then honey, you should leave. No, I'm not saying that. But if collectively that you start to realize like, okay, 1, check off, 2, check off, and you get to 5, and it's like, all right, like, then baby, a change needs to be made, because baby, you are stressing. So in no real particular order, I did write them down, so if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to keep track so I don't get to rambling. But so I will go through. So one of the things that I did recognize, unfortunately, and I mean, it honestly wasn't all due to the relationship. This one had a lot to do with just life and doing its thing, but altogether, like, either way, like, it wasn't obviously the best thing to be doing. So, but if you find yourself engaging in toxic and addictive behaviors, then that is the big warning sign and red flag, not just for, you know, recognizing that you're unhappy in your relationship, but it could just be in general that you're just not happy with life, and whatever life is throwing at you. You know, it's unfortunately not uncommon for people to turn to these addictive behaviors to try to mask the real issues that are going on. And I feel like what I was failing to recognize was that, you know, I was just trying to dress up the real issue or put a band-aid on what was really going on. And you know, you can't put glitter on shit and expect it to be pretty. You can't do that. Like, it's still gonna be, it is what it is. When you come back from having that high or having that buzz or whatever it is, you're gonna come back and the situation is still gonna be there for you to face. So If you find yourself indulging in these addictive behaviors and these toxic behaviors, then that's definitely a red flag and a warning sign that, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to reflect on why it is I feel like I need to turn to this particular behavior, whatever it is, and I really need to make a change, because obviously, thinking about your well-being and putting yourself in a better position from that standpoint is non-negotiable. Like, you cannot expect to solve any problems by turning to those types of behaviors, because it's again, it's just, you're just putting a band-aid over the issue. And although you put a band-aid over it and you feel like it's healing it, like, yes, you're giving yourself time to heal in that moment, you feel like, but at the end of the day, your mind is not clear. That band-aid over the issue is not allowing you to breathe in your life. You're not getting the proper oxygen to fuel your life to make yourself better. So when you're engaging in those behaviors, then you're not properly giving yourself the authentic and organic option, or the organic opportunity to heal naturally. And that's when your mind is clearest, right? Like, you're in pain and you're hurting and you just want it to stop, but engaging in that behavior is never a permanent fix. So moving on. Moving on to another warning sign or red flag that I recognized and just kept putting it off or kept ignoring it, was like, I was constantly, like, I'm a homebody, so I'm very much an introvert, and I enjoy my time at home. Like, I'm okay with that. You just put me in front of like a good book, or you put a good book in front of me, a good show to binge, or just like, I like my company. Like, I like being by myself. I'm okay with that. I don't like always being out in the streets, and I don't like always going out and doing stuff, because you can't trust people. Like, you just can't trust situations nowadays. But I digress. But when I found myself wanting to be away from home more than usual, that was kind of an eye-opener, because again, I don't like to go out. Like, I'll show up for people, I show up for my friends, and yeah, I do go out with them, but at the end of the day, when I found myself wanting to stay out a little bit longer, or just finding stuff to do, like, I hate grocery shopping, but when I tell you the amount of times that I went to the grocery store in a week just to get away from the house, like little stuff like that, like just trying to be away from the heaviness and trying to get away from the darkness and just the tension that you feel at home by being there with somebody that is just making you feel weighed down, and like just finding ways or finding reasons to be away from the house. That was a huge red flag to me. Like, I should not have to find ways to get away from you. If anything, if things were good and I felt safe, I would want to be here with you. I want to be comforted with you. I want to be, snuggled up next to you. I want to be at home watching a movie or having conversations, and none of that felt safe when I was at home. So I just found myself just finding things, like, when I tell you, like, on any given day, like, I'm scrolling on my phone just trying to find, like, okay, what activity can I do? Even getting the kids out, and it's hectic as hell trying to navigate. And I'm sure a lot of y'all can testify to this, but it's so hard just trying to even get out of the house with 3 little kids. So yeah, when I knew that I was willing to take that beast on of being out with the kids by myself just to get out of the house, I'm like, man, like, I can't even stand to be in the same room with you. That is not a good feeling. That's not a safe feeling. And you want to be at home and feel safe. It's your home. It's your humble abode. So you want to have those safe feelings. And yeah, if you find yourself trying to get out of the house more than usual, that may be a sign that you have lost your peace. Another thing, when you do go out, or when you do talk to people, and you find yourself making excuses, you go out and they're like, yo, how you and so-and-so doing? And like, stuff is bad. Like, stuff is bad at home. But you don't want to put yourself out there because it's embarrassing. You know, you don't want the empathy. You don't want people to be looking at you feeling sorry for you. Like, oh, like, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need you looking at me like I'm, you know, like I'm fragile, like I'm gonna break or anything. You know, you just don't want people to see that side of your struggle. So again, it's embarrassing, but people ask, and what do? You lie. You make excuses. You say, oh, no, we're good. We're good. No, we're great. You know, yeah, no, we just went, you know, we just had dinner the other day. We just went on a date. You know, everything is good. Everything is Gucci. When inside you're like screaming, no, I am not okay. And that's okay to say I'm not okay. But that's a huge step for a lot of people, is to admit that you are not okay. You know, people ask you how you doing, and we're conditioned and we're programmed to immediately just answer, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, thank you for asking. When no, like it takes a lot of it takes a lot of self-recognition and, you know, a comfort within yourself, and confidence within yourself to be like, you know what, I'm struggling today, but thanks for asking. And I get it. I get why people do it, because obviously, again, you don't want to be the charity case. You don't want to be the person that is like, you don't want to be the Debbie Downer. You don't want people to look at you like, oh, because I bet you go out there and somebody asks you, how you doing? Like, today is a bad day, and see how they react. They're gonna be like, oh, I didn't have a response for that, and see what they say. They're gonna be like, dang, my bad. Like, what do you say? You know, it's like you don't want to put people in that position to have to try and figure out a response to that. So I get it. But definitely, if you're around close friends and family, like, you want to be able to be honest about that stuff. And if you can't be honest about it, then it's a reflection of, you know, your relationship. It's a warning sign, nonetheless, again, that, you know, if you find yourself having to lie about it just so you can save face in front of friends and family, then obviously that's not good, because you're lying not just to them, but baby, why are you lying to yourself? You're living it every single day. So why are you lying to yourself? There's no point in lying to yourself, because if you have to lie to yourself, then again, you're going to turn to other things to try to cover up that lie within yourself. You're going to try and make yourself believe that ain't true. No, I'm really happy. It's just, you know, maybe today is a bad day. Nah. 9 times out of 10, if you reflect on how many times you felt this way and felt like you need to turn to these addictive behaviors or these toxic behaviors to try and mask that pain, you'll probably run out of hands, fingers, and toes trying to reflect back on the how many days that you have felt like this. And when you get to really reflecting and get to a point to where, you know, you consider the fact that, dang, like I've been drinking 3 out of 5 days this week already, you know, and it turns into, it's like, oh, it's just a glass of wine. It's like, oh, it was just a mixed drink or two. Like, girl, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to turn to those behaviors, and you shouldn't have to lie about it. Because again, you can maybe fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool yourself. You can't fool yourself, and you're not doing yourself a justice. You're doing yourself a very big injustice by lying about it. So the sooner that you can feel comfortable with having those hard conversations with friends, like, you know, I'm not okay, and this is why, you know, and people don't know what they don't know. They don't know that you need help until you let them know that you need help, which I have a big problem with that. I'll admit that. Like, I am one of the people that, you know, will shut down for days, weeks, months, even if I'm going through something, just so I don't have to put myself out there, make myself vulnerable, and then B, I don't like to put people in that position to feel like they have to help me. And sometimes it's just as simple as, like, I just want to vent, or I just want you to listen. You don't even have to say anything. Sometimes I just want to talk. So shoot, I'll talk to myself. But journaling has been huge for me. Journaling and writing stuff down has been a very therapeutic for me. So definitely recommend that. Another thing that I noticed that I was doing was just taking my anger out on the wrong people. And a lot of the times with, life being life as a single mother, or at the time as a struggling mother, about to become single, feeling like a single mother, but in a, full-blown relationship, I was taking my anger out on my kids. And I felt like I was being more upset and aggressive with them when it was unnecessary, when a lot of times it didn't have anything to do with them, but because they were there, and 9 times out of 10 probably in my face and asking the same question for the 18th time, or trying to show me the same little two-step to this new TikTok dance or something they saw on TV, for the 50-11th time. Yeah, frustration does set in, but sometimes it gets taken too far, and it's like you get to yelling and you're screaming, and you're just taking your aggressions out, on them or whoever's around. Friends, you ghost friends, or you talk rudely to friends, or whatever, and you realize like it ain't had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you. I have these demons inside myself that I haven't faced yet, and then again, it's like everything is feeding into each other. It's like, okay, I'm angry because of my relationship. I'm angry for where I'm at in this relationship. I'm angry with the fact that I can't face my demons, and I can't face this man and let him know how I really feel, because then it'll turn into something else, and then I just don't want those troubles. So then what do? You turn to the addictive behavior, and then it's just it's a perpetuating cycle. It's always going to be a cycle of things that just leads to each other, and then the addictive behaviors only exacerbate your aggressions, and they're just focused on the wrong things. So again, that's just avoidance. It's you avoiding having that difficult conversation with the one that the aggression or the anger or the disappointment or the sadness is geared towards. And it's easier to take it on someone else, because this makes it easier for you to avoid having that conversation with the one that it's intended for. So that was another one. So I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, so the fifth and final thing, I know I said it didn't go in any particular order, but this is definitely like the final thing, the final straw. Once you tally up everything and say, okay, yup, 1, toxic behaviors. I've been there, done that. Searching for ways to be away from home. I do that. Taking my anger out on, the wrong people. I do that. Lying to my friends about how good or bad things really are. Been there. But when you get to this, when you number 5, and you know it when you know it, you feel it when you feel it. Number 5, when you have given everything you have, and you feel like you have absolutely nothing left to give, baby, your knuckles are bleeding, like you have put your blood, sweat, and tears into this relationship. You feel like you have given every single thing to that relationship, and you feel like you have nothing left to give. It's time to go. Or it's time to really reflect on what your next steps need to be. It's not always as easy or even as aggressive as, I'm just out. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just, you've been going through this. And again, I went through it for 12 years. So I knew when it was time to go. I knew when my hands and my knuckles were bleeding past the point of repair, it was time for me to go. It was time for me to go. I literally felt like I had nothing left to do, or I had nothing left to give, rather. I felt like I had changed myself. I felt like I had done, we did the therapy, and, we tried so many different approaches. And you get to reflecting, and you're like, okay, what else can I try? What else haven't I tried? And when you go down that list and you like, hey, I did that. Dang, I forgot I did that, but I did that. And they all come together, and you're like, I literally have nothing left to give you. then that's when you really got to start choosing yourself. And you say, okay, you know what, all of that time and energy and effort that I put into this dying relationship, I'm going to flip that and I'm going to give it to myself. I'm going to start to repair myself from the inside out, and I'm going to come up with something so much more productive than I could have ever given you. Because a lot of the times it's not even you. It's not even you, and it may not even be him. It's just the dynamic. Maybe it's the times. Maybe it's just, you know, you have evolved or he has evolved and somebody's just not catching up to the other, or y'all haven't met here. Y'all here, or y'all here. And it just, sometimes time just tells you everything you need to know. And again, with all of that time, you have a lot to reflect on, because you don't get to 12 years, or you don't get to 5 years even, and you don't get to these big numbers without having something to show for it, right? You're not just going to be sitting on your hands and twiddling your thumbs like, you know, I'm just hanging out here for 12 years and call me if you need me. No, you've been through all of it. You've been through as much as you're gonna be through, and you have to make the decision to stay and work on it, or make the decision to walk away with your peace and your dignity and figure out another path for yourself. You know, talk to God, pray for clarity, you know, just pray for him to eliminate that uncertainty and turn that uncertainty into productivity in your life. Make it clear to me, Lord. Make it clear to me what I'm supposed to be doing, because this ain't it. If I just need a break from this, or if I just need to break free from this, let me know. And you're only gonna find that out with time, with space, and you know, you'll feel it when you feel it. So when that number 5 hits you, you like, I have nothing left. And it's literally like, it clicks. It's like, I have nothing left. Like, I'm exhausted. I am tapped out. The water has run dry. You got nothing else. So that's it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, yeah, and like I said, there's other things, but those were the top 5 for me. That was like, girl, time to choose yourself. And I've been loving it ever since. And I'll tell you, I have been appreciating so much this time that I've had with myself and this time that I've had with God, to really reflect and really just kind of create a new path for myself. So when you're ready, I'm here. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Y'all enjoy. Bye-bye.